These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Monday, December 26th. And happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays to those who celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, anything you celebrate. Me and Sam, I know, well, mostly me, just wrapped up Christmas. I just got back from a Christmas party. Sam didn't celebrate Christmas. Is that true? I mean, I'm not like you
celebrate
because...
yet.
Okay. Tomorrow,
it is
though.
December 26th.
27th.
Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. My family was away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're having people at the house.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do? I'll tell you what, though. I took myself Christmas shopping today.
Ooh!
I felt like a hot boy. I was in the fitting rooms putting on all these clothes, and I said, "Look at me."
What store? Where'd you go?
Well, first I had to pick up this suit that I have for something later this week, and then I was like, "All right, well, let me go around and see what else I can get." I then went to Kohl's and I bought a couple sweaters and a pair of jeans. And then I went to Bob's. I'll tell you what, I spent a lot of time in Bob's. They had a huge sale at Bob's. I got some good stuff.
Bob's has everything.
I couldn't believe it was like 80% off some things.
Wow. That's good.
I got this like tank top thing for $3. It's crazy. Like when the summer comes, I'm out running, I can wear it.
Yeah, be chilling.
Not have a farmer's tan for the first time in years.
But no Christmas gifts yet. Like you haven't gotten presents.
No, I don't know yet.
Okay.
Now I got to tell you, hopes through the floor. No expectation.
Not great. I got new headphones. I got myself some new Bose. Mine before, which are right here, were a little bit tattered.
Jesus, what do you do to those things?
I've had them for just like 2 and 3 years. They just wore out.
I have had my Xbox headset since I was a freshman in high school, and it's in better shape than those.
I wear these. I've worn these every single day of my life for like 2.5, 3 years.
I've worn the Xbox headset plenty. I was not a social butterfly. I was playing tons of Xbox. High school,
I'm talking
college,
like
now
hours, though, like 8 hours every day at least that those headphones are on my head. Right?
Really?
They just. Well, what do I do for work? I sit at my desk.
I wonder if you've got like a permanent dent in your skull.
I do. I don't know about my skull, but my hair. It's not. I just got a haircut, so you can't see it right now. But in my
no, the headphone hair is brutal.
It is tough. I have off topic, but speaking of skull, I have broke my skull before, so there's a dent somewhere.
Really?
Out there, yeah. I hit in the head with a baseball bat when I was 8.
Oh my god!
Cracked it right open. Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, it's just kind of a fun story. Like, it's not many people can tell you they broke their skulls. It's kind of,
I can't really one up you, but I got hit in the nuts this weekend.
That's tough.
I was playing basketball with the fellas on Christmas Eve. Very good runs lately here in RI. And we were playing. I blocked this kid. He drives. I block him from behind. This other kid.
Do I know who this is?
No.
Okay.
And these kids, so there were like a couple kids that came, like that we don't usually play with, which is fine. Who cares? But like they were not at the level as us. And this is not why I'm saying this. It's just we don't know this kid. And like he came barreling into me, and I am wide open. Wham! Right in the balls.
Tough.
And like I've never been hitting the balls like that. Like I've been hitting the balls, but like not in a game situation. Oh, it was pickup, but like in a game situation where I was like, oh my god, I gotta come out. Like I had to go sit down. I was like, oh my god.
Brutal. Not to
get kicked or hit.
It's bad. Not to one up you again, but I have gotten sent to the hospital for that exact injury.
Oh, I think you told me this.
Yeah, bad. Very bad. I was playing basketball too. I was playing defense, and the kid went for a layup, and his knee went right up, and hit you in the no-go area. Not fun. It
wasn't even like a knee. It's just bad. Hit. Like I was going. I was moving. Get a little bit of athleticism now, and I just was open. Hip. Right to the balls. Tough. Very tough.
Brutal.
Had to come out.
Yeah, that's not
playing well.
Great. Yeah, tough.
It is funny. Before we start, we did our Christmas stream yesterday. Thank you very much for everyone that watched. We had a good amount of people in here, including my parents, who heard me say that my mom was cheap buying socks. I immediately got a text message saying, what did she say? Markdown Mama was listening. Good show, or whatever she said. So thank you very much for listening. And but I will say this, Jack, you tried to get me to spill what I got them for Christmas, and I would not do it.
Smart
on my
move.
part. I was commended for that.
That's awesome. That's too funny. My I was at like a Christmas, not a party, but like just I think I told you my dad's girlfriend's family. I was over there, and while I was in the room, my sister texted me. They put you on the TV. Just a heads up. So I was on the
That's
big
a
screen.
disaster.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I share all these on Facebook and stuff, but I really don't want anybody watching them. Like, I want like my friends to watch them or people that are interested, but I don't want people watching it for me. Unless you're a fan and you like me or Jack, like watch it for us that way. But if you're like family, and Mr. Simone always watches us, like we always appreciate him. He's in on it. He's doing fist bumps in the chat. He gets it.
At the family party today, my uncle Dan, shout out Dan, we got a shout out for him later in the show, but he pulls me aside when we first get there. He goes, I always put you on the TV, so I can't really do the chat function, but like I'm there. I'm like, I appreciate you. So maybe we'll see Uncle Dan in the chat on the phone, potentially, but we'll see. I know he's watching, so I appreciate you. Shout out Uncle Dan. But anyways, we spent about 5 minutes talking about holidays, Christmas. Let us know how your holiday went in the YouTube comments. All the regulars, Landon, John, Bergen, Jack, and all the legends in the stream
and
chat.
If you're not a regular, we don't care.
No, no. If you're not a regular, let us know as well. I'm just shouting out the guys who always comment. But Celtics have found their footing again after a tough skid. West Coast trip, losing to the Clippers, Warriors. Probably should have lost to the Lakers, then losing 3 in a row at home, which was disaster territory or nearing it. They've won 2 in a row now. They took down the Timberwolves at home and took down the Milwaukee Bucks on Christmas Day in 2 pretty convincing wins. I mean, the Timberwolves was close up until the fourth quarter, and the Bucks was also kind of close, I guess, through the first half. But they pulled it out in the second half, and they played really well. I was very happy with the Bucks win for the entire season. We've kind of been looking ahead to Christmas Day, saying this is the game. This is what we want to see. Chris Middleton did not play, and plenty of Bucks fans made sure that Celtics fans knew that. I put out a tweet. I was like, if Chris Middleton would have played in that game, would it have changed it? Absolutely. But it's not like the Celtics won by like 2 points. It was like a 20-point win. And Chris Middleton hasn't even been that good this year since his injury. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the two teams play again when they're both at full strength. But regardless of that, the Bucks have been the team they've been this season, the top tier team without Chris Middleton. So it was still a very convincing win for the Celtics. It was good for the vibes, and they've looked good. They look like they bounced back in a big way.
Yeah, the Celtics decided to start winning games at the right time, huh?
Huge.
They've been real bad, but they've still won all the important ones. Like, they beat the Lakers. They beat Milwaukee. Like, it would have been cool to beat Golden State, but
they've taken down all the MVP candidates. Like, they beat Jokic, they beat Ja Morant, they beat Giannis, they beat Luka, they beat all the top guys.
Well, more importantly, they won the ones that matter to me. I don't care about the other MVP guys, but you beat the Lakers, you beat Milwaukee on Christmas. Milwaukee, by the way, is actually a really likable team. Their fans are just the worst, which you kind of touched on. But their fans are really like. I had some guy reply to my tweet yesterday about I said Celtics beat the fraud allegations, and he was like, I forget what he said. He said something stupid, like it got flagged, like it was one of those ones you had to reveal the offensive comment, which it's going to be good.
Yeah, this is juicy. But those are good ones.
First of all, the person definitely doesn't follow me, so they're just going searching Celtics and they're just being
very weird.
Angry. Yeah. I don't do that. I'll just tweet. I'll be like, I get angry. I get plenty angry as much as the next guy, but I'm not doing that. That's weird.
That's a lot.
It's weird.
It's a lot.
I don't even like replying to people I follow. Never mind randoms.
To seek out Celtics fans on Twitter just for the purpose of being mad online, that's next level. That's next level. Go do stuff. Go do stuff in the real world.
Twitter caught fire yesterday. Don't worry about it. A couple good ones.
I'm the first one you can come to, saying Twitter on fire. I got slewed for my Jaylen Brown takes few days ago.
No. It was a good, people were liking what I was putting out. I'm not like you. Good. I'm not hated throughout the community.
I got a like on Twitter. I tweeted out a video of Grant Williams. I don't know if you saw of him dancing during a timeout.
Oh, I don't know if I saw
on Twitter. Grant liked the tweet though, so Grant enjoyed it. So I was happy I could provide him with some content. So.
Jack has been one-upping me for the last 10 minutes.
Grant's dad liked it too, so I'll finish my one-up with that.
Gosh.
Legends. The Celtics have been playing. Yeah, so the Celtics have been playing well. Took down the Bucks. It was a big-time game. We can talk about this for a second. They shut down Giannis again, like they did in the playoffs.
Giannis, a lot of jump shots from Giannis yesterday. He was good. Good on the jumpers.
But it was they stopped him from getting into the paint. I think he shot 9 of 22 on the day, 1 of 5 from 3. There was some stat that he only took X amount of paint shots, and it was like one of the lowest this season. I will say, this was pointed out by plenty of Bucks fans. If Chris Middleton was there, they probably couldn't play that exact style of defense. And of course, right? Like if Middleton's there, they have an extra shot creator in the perimeter. I'm not like doubting Middleton. He's a 2-time All-Star. He's a great player. But it's not like the Celtics can control that. They're going to play the team that's on the floor, right? So like for the Bucks team that was out there, this, top 2, top 3 team in the East, Bucks team, title contender, they defended Giannis about as good as you could defend him. They threw, Grant on him. They threw Al Horford on him. They were keeping him out of the paint. And I would say it was a lot of settling from Giannis, which maybe it was, but I mean, he was draining some of those mid-range shots. That
they were daring him.
Exactly. But they packed the paint. They did a good job of forcing him into those looks. And again, he made more of them than I thought he probably should have. I'll say this: if he extends that, foot out a couple feet behind the 3-point line, and he's doing that, that's a scary player. But the Celtics did a really good job of controlling him and keeping him from dominating the game in the way that we very clearly know he can.
It was very strange that they got him to settle that much. It really was the daring him to shoot, and he kind of obliged, which is great. I mean, good for him. He's probably, as silly as it sounds, trying to work on that part of his game. Yeah, despite definitely. This being a very important regular season game, a marquee game on Christmas, prime time, you name it. I mean, this is kind of like he's trying out new material out there. So Celtics kind of got lucky where he was willing to settle for that. But in the Celtics defense, or to their credit, their defense has been much, much better lately. They're up to 7th in the league now defensively, which is really great because they were in the bottom half for an early part of this season, even when they were rolling teams. Now they're starting to come together on both ends of the floor. You saw them put together some solid offensive performances starting in that second half of the Pacers game, somewhat rolled over into the Minnesota game. They got back up to speed in the fourth quarter thanks to Jaylen Brown, who played well. Finally got his head out of his ass. Really good to see that. He showed back up in the Milwaukee game, kind of came out hot, missed some free throws at the half, which is still remarkable to me. I know I say it all the time, but this guy is like one of the best mid-range shooters from the half circle in the league, and he can't shoot free throws. It's just so strange.
It's so frustrating.
But you got a pretty complete game out of him, a great game out of Tatum. Marcus Smart continued to be solid at the helm. I mean, he's throwing passes around there crazy. If you go back to that Minnesota game, we talked about it on the pregame. We tweeted about it. Like, he played like the leader, the captain of the Celtics that game. He kind of pulled them out of the funk. He was moving the ball around. And even in the first half, he was making crazy passes and shots weren't falling off him. And he still had double-digit assists. Against Milwaukee, he made some insane passes. He had the bounce pass on the break to Tatum. He had an alley-oop to Rob that was out of a pick and roll between him and Tatum. It was just like a sick read where Rob was just open underneath. And also, how about Brook Lopez looking like he's the least coordinated person on the planet, but still being able to block
every
shots?
Time.
No, I said it. I was watching with my buddy Devin, and I was like, man, how the hell is this guy impacting winning? Like, not only is Brook Lopez able to defend, and he's had a solid impact against the Celtics yesterday, but as a whole, he's having a really like solid season. 15 points and 6 rebounds, I think he averages, something like that. Couple blocks. Like, he's having a prime season or like a vintage season for Brook Lopez. Like, he's actually
he's playing very well.
For somebody that moves like he's the Tin Man who hasn't been oiled, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. He's having a great season. I mean, he's just one of the best defenders in the league around the rim, and they play a style of defense, that allows him to play that way. But I do want to talk about Smart because he has been so good this year, and I think these last 3 games from Indiana to Minnesota to Milwaukee have shown it, because he didn't play in the Indiana game. And that offense, at least, especially in the first half, was dreadful. It was like they were going to isolation. They were just hucking up shots. It was absolutely awful. Then in the Minnesota game, 10 assists. In the Bucks game, 8 assists. Like, he has been a top 10 passer in the league this year. The assists tell you that he's 13 assists per game, 7th in total assists. Like, the connection he has with Tatum and Brown, I think, is the most impressive part, right? Because we said this on the pregame show, I think yesterday on Christmas. over the years, he has been able to develop that chemistry, and that is why he's the perfect point guard for this team. Like, he's played with Jaylen and Jason throughout their entire career. Like, and you see the difference when Brogdon is handling the ball and White's handling the ball. This is not like a knock on them. Like, they're great passers, they're great point guards. But when Smart's holding the ball, you can just like tell that he knows where Tatum and Brown are going to go. Like, the amount of assists that Marcus Smart gets just from Tatum and Brown cutting him and him knowing where they're going to be, like, it's the perfect point guard. I wrote about him for Celtics blog, like compiling some quotes. Like, I included him talking to Jaylen Brown after the Timberwolves game. I assume you saw that, him saying, like, pumping him up, saying this is how you need to play, like him being the great teammate, all that stuff. Also, congratulations to Marcus Smart for getting engaged. Absolute legend.
Awesome.
But even still in the comments, you have people saying like bad stuff about Marcus Smart. Like, I just don't get how people can like
some people are idiots
still talk bad about it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm trying to find
the Patriots are bad. The Patriots fans are here early this year. That's what it is.
Exactly. And like, we have one nice comment. Smart should be in the All-Star team. He's better than this player. Like, fighting for that. Like, I agree. That's good. But like, there was one comment that I'm trying to find right now about him, like, and the 3-point shots being bad. Like, I pointed out in the article I wrote, he took 0 threes when like against the Bucks, like 0 threes, and he had a phenomenal game. And yet the entire comment section is still like, yeah, he took no threes. That's what he should be doing because he's bad. And I'm like, this is not the takeaway we should have.
Marcus Smart, by the way, is like the only guy over the last like 2 weeks that's made threes.
Right?
He's like the only one. He's the only guy that's been somewhat consistent shooting the ball is him. Not that he should be chucking. There is truth to all of it. I mean, he's definitely at his best when he's shooting less and passing more. And we kind of hit it on that Christmas pregame, but it's really impressive the way he's able to set up his teammates and create baskets without being a superstar scorer and really demanding the focus of a defense to where the defense has to leave his teammates open. He's setting these guys up and getting them good looks without having to be the focal point of a defense. Like, he's not getting the extra gravity. He's not. He's just that good. He's throwing fancy passes.
He's phenomenal.
I mean, even the setup for that Tatum dunk over Giannis was just so pretty because it was so smooth. It was just a give and go, but he got Lopez to hop out on him.
Yeah.
Really, without doing anything. He didn't even, I don't even think he looked at the basket if you watch the slow-mo replay. He just,
I found it.
Whatever he did worked. He's got it going.
I found the comment on the Celtics blog article I wrote about Smart. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I give him a combined 6 out of 10 for offense and defense. He still has the tendencies to shuck threes when things aren't going right for the offense and at the most inopportune times. He can make or break the team. If he ever becomes consistent from game to game, they may reach their peak. Just my 2 cents. You Marcus lovers will totally disagree, but that's my opinion. He is what he is. This after a game where he quite literally shot 0 threes. 0 threes. Let me say that again. He shot 0 threes, and we're complaining about his offense because he takes bad. Like, I will never understand the Marcus hate. I will fully admit, like I'll say time and time again, he's not like the superstar point guard. He's not like an all-star. He's not, Kyrie Irving, even though we hate him. He's not, Tyrese Halliburton. He's never going to be that like top of the top Chris Paul elite point guard. But for this Celtics team, he is perfect. He is perfect. He is a phenomenal passer. He has finally accepted that role. He can hit threes. He's hitting is he shooting his best ever from 3 this season? Because it's very possible that he's shooting his best ever from 3 this season.
I don't know.
Third. It's his third best season. He's shooting 34.4%. He shot
36.
Yeah, 36.4 in 2018-19. And then he shot 34.7 in 2019-20. But also only played 60 games because it was the shortened season.
This is the most prominent role he's had in the offense, and he's thriving.
Absolutely.
I don't get why people are still mad. They're just not paying attention.
That's what I'm saying. He's averaging a career high 7.4 assists, and it's not like his previous career high was 7.3. His previous career high was last year at 5.9. He's averaging 1.5 more assists this year. He's shooting this is his most efficient shooting season ever. He's shooting 43.1% from the field. His next highest is 42.2.
Which is kind of funny to say, but
I know that's the career high, but like he's shooting, and the only reason it's so low is because of his 3-point shot. He's shooting 54% from the field, like from 2-point range, right?
Yeah,
like,
he does a great job in the paint, on the drive,
that's what I was just
in
gonna
the
say.
Post, whatever it is.
So good.
He's so reliable when he gets inside. He's just not being asked to do that. And that's not really what you want if you're the Celtics. You really just need him to pass the ball and be open if he's ready to shoot a three. If someone's kicking it out, fine. But when he gets inside, he's finishing a lot. His left hand has a sweet touch. Like, you can rely on him. And you've seen him, I believe, maybe even against the Timberwolves, if I'm remembering correctly, force the issue and kind of take over in that aspect, going to the basket. Actually, maybe not against the Timberwolves because he only had 6 points early and they were both threes. But there have been games this season where the Celtics have struggled and he's taken the initiative and gone inside and tried to get the team going.
Yes.
Maybe it was Miami that he did that. There have been games. I can't remember off the top of my head, and this sounds really bad if you are against what I'm saying. You're like, he can't think of anything. But
well, he did it against Milwaukee. You saw him go down in the paint and score over Wesley Matthews when he had an open look and the Celtics needed a jolt. Like, he does that every game. I know exactly what you're talking about. He gets down low, he backs up, he does the spin move and takes.
Not even that. There was a game where they were like dying. They were dead dogs, and he was like, "Let's go."
Yeah, I think it might have been Miami. I think it might have been Miami. It was one of those games in there. Yeah, no, he's been great. And like you said, over the last 10 games, the Celtics are shooting poorly. I'm talking Derek White shooting 21%, Sam Hauser shooting 28%, Jaylen Brown shooting 30% from, this is all from three. Marcus Smart shooting 34% from deep, which isn't great, but like considering how poorly the rest of the team is shooting, he is one of the more reliable shooters on the team. Which again, isn't what you want for Marcus Smart. You don't want him to be that role because it's not what he's best at, but like we need to stop acting like he's taking bad threes. Like I can't remember a bad three he's taken this year, right? And there definitely have been some. I'm not saying he's only taking good threes, but like off the top of my head, in years past, I could absolutely name bad threes he's taken, right? Like I will be the first one to admit that sometimes he takes threes that probably aren't the best. But this year and even most of last year, he hasn't been taking those shots.
It's probably the lowest it's been.
Absolutely. And a big reason why is because the ball's not, the ball is in his hands, right? As ironic as it may sound, the best way to make sure Smart doesn't take those looks that everyone hates is by giving him the ball more, because then he'll pass it and distribute instead of shooting. So I don't understand the hate for Marcus Smart. I know you never have either. I'm not.
No, I've always been a big fan. I've always thought he's a great player, thought he was a good personality for the team. Awesome. I thought he had good leadership qualities. He's a really great guy off the court. I remember I went to a game. I don't remember when. It was before. It was like, it might have been when Kyrie got here. I don't remember. But I just remember Marcus going up and like into the Lodge to take pictures of people that wanted pictures.
He's awesome.
And I was awesome. Like, wow, that's crazy he does that. Nobody else doing that.
I don't know if you've seen this guy on Twitter. His name's Nathan Marazia. He's like a Bucks fan. He's a Bucks fan.
Okay.
He's one of the more frustrating Bucks fan out there. I befriended a Bucks fan on Twitter, though. Fun fact: Snell season.
Shame on you.
Good guy. Good guy. But this Nathan guy on Twitter, he tweeted out, some Celtics fans are going to be getting Marcus Smart jerseys on Christmas. I feel bad for them, or something like that.
It's right? Kind of funny.
And he deleted it. But my thing is, this is the same dude who like helped Drew Holiday this off. Like, he was very nice to one of your favorite players. So like, what I don't get it. Like, let's chill out. Like, he is very well known in the league as a very nice dude,
first
a very
team all good guy,
dude, right? Like, I don't get it. It just.
I get like opposing fans hating him because like he's an irritant. That's what he does on the floor. But if you don't know about like how like good of a guy he is or whatever,
show him some respect. Like,
he's a cool guy. Good for him. He got engaged. The video was cool, even though Will Smith's a rat list. That was not the person I was going to put on the rat list that I teased to Jack. But Will Smith can be on the rat list. Also on the rat list.
Is he rat list because of the Chris Rock
slap? That's outrageous. Guy's doing comedy. You go up there and slap him? You serious?
I love the rat
list.
I absolutely love the
also rat list. On the rat list, the Nassus. No business being in the NBA, and he's talking the most. I mean, that guy's a bum. They brought in the bench yesterday when the game was out of hand, and he didn't even get in. He's still on his bench with the warm-ups on. And he's getting arguments with players on the Celtics. I tweeted it yesterday. He did well. I hope Smart told him he's only in the league because of his last name.
I love the rat list. The rat list is my favorite segment. I want to do more with the rat list. But before we move on from Marcus Smart, I do want to ask, where does he rank in the league in terms of point guards? I want to go through quickly because I think
that's a good question.
Mostly because this will be a good short, and we can post this places. But I want to talk about where Marcus ranks the league in terms of point guard. And I can feed you names. Let me.
I think Halliburton might be number one
right now.
Yeah, he's distributing the ball really well. You saw him score crazy against the Celtics, followed it up with another monster game.
Okay.
He's like single-handedly bringing that Pacers team into being relevant, whether it's just because he's able to create for everybody else and other guys being able to fill their roles well. You have to credit those guys too if you're not getting assists without shots falling. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that he's got that team into somewhat of legitimacy when before the season, you and I were saying they were literally going to be top 3 lottery. It's pretty crazy. So I think he deserves a lot of credit there. Fun player to watch. Number 2. Oh man. I think
Curry. Curry's up there.
Curry or Ja, both of them maybe are above Halliburton. It's kind of unfair.
We don't have to go in direct order, but like I want to get into the range where we think Smart would be. So like Halliburton, Curry, Ja, Luka, all up there, obviously.
Luka, point guard.
If you want to call him, come on.
This is where it gets tough.
Okay, fine. Getting back, Lillard is above him. He's got to be.
Yeah, Lillard,
Trey Young. Do you put
Trey Young
above him
for
still?
Sure.
James Harden, point guard, shooting guard, effectively same thing. Kyrie, unfortunately, I know you don't love him, but he's a better player.
He's on the rat list.
Bro, I can't tell you how much I love the rat list. That might be the favorite bit. Chris Paul, do you put him above Marcus right now?
What's his numbers this year?
Let's take a look. He's been hurt for a long time. I don't know if he's back yet. But so far this year,
point guard is a funny position to rank because
he's averaging 12, 5, and 9.
Yeah, he's better.
Okay.
Point guard is a funny position for me because to me, obviously Curry, Ja, Dame Lillard, all great point guards.
You put
Garland's a great point guard. He averages a ton of assists too. But for me, it's more impressive for a point guard to be able to create for other people. That's why Paul's up there. Those 9 assists are impressive.
Why you love Halliburton?
That's why Halliburton was the first player that came to mind, is just because how impactful he is to that Pacers team. I think Smart has a similar impact to the Celtics. You saw it. Literally night and day from that Pacers game to the Timberwolves game. When he's out there pulling the strings, the team plays a lot better. It doesn't mean he's the most skilled, and we talked about the all-star spots. We've seen it on Twitter, and it's really tough to say he would get in just because there's so many skilled point guards in the East that are great scorers and whatnot. But he's a really great distributing point guard, a pure point guard, I guess. He's a great point guard for a great team. Yep. He passes the ball and plays good defense, which ideally is what you want out of a point guard on a championship team. Go throughout history, it's really tough to find teams, not the Warriors, that have a point guard as their best player. It kind of doesn't happen. Curry is fantastic, always has been. Going back, Lowry wasn't the best player on the Raptors. He was one of the best, but he wasn't the best. Tony Parker up there, but maybe not the best. Kawhi still the best on those Spurs teams. Obviously Duncan too. Before that, though, it's really hard to think of really great point guards. Like
Chauncey Billups, I guess, is the last
Chauncey Billups, Isaiah Thomas, Magic. Yeah, not a lot. The list is very short.
Yes, short list. So getting back to the range, Smart might be in. Garland, do you put above Smart? I assume.
All right, we're back.
I'll jump
out of nowhere.
Excuse me. All right, I'll just go back in.
So much for the short, huh?
Nah, it's fine. I can
cut a tangent.
I cut the shorts anyways. All right. So Garland, I assume you'd have over Smart in the rankings as well. You mentioned the assists. I think this is the range where we start to get into will Smart be there? Garland effectively your top 10 would probably be not in order. Halliburton, Curry, Luka, Dame, Trey, Harden, Ja, Kyrie, CP3, Garland. That would be around the top 10 point guards in the league.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the next range would be Jamal Murray. Smart better than you put Smart above Jamal Murray.
That's tough. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. Availability is also very important to me.
He's playing
can't be that great from sitting in wearing a nice suit jacket.
He's averaging 18, 4, and 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
I think Smart
LaMelo.
might be I'll put it like this. I'd rather have Smart on the Celtics than Jamal Murray.
Okay. There's like LaMelo, Fred VanVleet, De'Aaron Fox is up there. Playing well, Jalen Brunson, CJ McCollum. Like, do we think this is the range Smart belongs in right now?
I'd say yes.
Okay.
Again, it's just tough because they're scorers. Scoring and being a distributor are two different and two very important skill sets to have.
Yep.
So if you broke up point guards into great scoring point guards and great distributing point guards, you would have two different top 10s, I think.
Well, I'll put it this way. Among point guards, Smart is and talking in terms of assists here. Harden is the top point guard in assists, then Halliburton, then Trae Young, then Chris Paul, then LaMelo Ball, John Morant, Darius Garland, Russell Westbrook, Drew Holiday, who we forgot to mention, Mike Conley, Marcus Smart. So he's top 10 among point guards in terms of assists. So he is absolutely up there.
And he's better than Russ. He's probably better than Mike Conley right now. Even though Mike Conley deserves a ton of credit because he's an important piece to that Jazz team who's also a surprise.
Yes.
Similar to Halliburton. But I'd rather
Mike
have Smart.
Conley putting up very similar numbers to Smart. He's averaging 9.5 points, 2 rebounds, 7.5 assists. Smart's 11.
I like Conley
3.5,
a lot.
7.5.
Always have.
Yes, Drew Holiday, I'll admit though, is probably above Smart in the rankings. I really respect Drew Holiday.
They're very similar players, almost the same, except Holiday's probably a better scorer.
He's just a better offensive player, I think.
Yeah.
Shout out Drew Holiday. I'm a big Drew Holiday fan, but yeah. Okay, so I'd say
he looks probably weird. He has muscles though.
He was
a lot cooler when he was skinny.
He's a strong dude now. I'd probably say Smart top 15 point guards. And I know that's like half the teams, but like considering most of the top point guards are like Ja, Steph, Luka,
it's just tough. Like in the league today,
it's a
lot of the best players are point guards.
A lot of guard heavy league. It's huge. Yeah, being top point guards, having one is very crucial. I guess there aren't many teams out there like most of the title contenders are led by a top point guard, right? Like you got. Obviously, like Drew Holiday is not the guy in Milwaukee, but like the Warriors, Steph Curry, the Warriors, John Morant, the Cavs are just guard tandem. I mean, even the Nets have a start. Like most of the top teams, I would say, are top point guards. It's tough.
That being said, though, there are very few point guards in the league I would plug and play instead of Smart on the Celtics.
Okay, so I'll ask you that.
And even chemistry aside, like just imagining that you could put somebody else in and they would have the same chemistry.
Okay,
so it would be very tough.
Who would you, if you could have any point guard in the league over Marcus Smart? Halliburton. Okay.
And that's tough just because he doesn't really play defense. Not over him. I don't know. I think he's a great fit with the Celtics, but
I know he
is a player that I would plug and play and be okay with it.
I'm glad you're such a big Halliburton fan because before the season I was singing his praises and now we can both enjoy him.
I always thought he was pretty good. I didn't know
he was this good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Halliburton you would take above Smart if you had the choice? Probably.
I don't like this. Stop it.
Curry. I'm not going to stop Curry.
I don't know if I this is going to sound ridiculous. I don't know if I would plug him in instead because they're different players.
And
there's the show.
So what you're saying, Sam, is you would not take Stephen Curry on the Celtics over Marcus Smart.
This is bad. We need to move on. This is my green glasses, 1,000,000%.
We're gonna be on
TikTok, and I like Curry.
Everyone's gonna point out, oh, he's got the Celtics jerseys in the back. Of course he's saying.
No, I got my Smart jersey right there. It's right there.
So let me get this cut and dry though. You would take Marcus Smart on the Celtics over Stephen Curry.
I don't know.
I'm gonna need a yes or no answer.
It's close.
I know.
Here's why. Because I think if you add another score, things start to get kind of complicated.
Okay. I
like a real like
Kemba.
Even though I'll say this, no, I'll actually. You know what? I would, and here's why.
Okay.
Because you saw Curry play.
I'm cutting
so well.
this out of the short.
Okay, that's fine. Good. But this is legit. This is true. This is not because I got scared. I just like Curry was able to play so well and work Kevin Durant into that Warriors offense and be unselfish that he's a great scorer that I don't think would have a negative impact. It wouldn't be too many cooks in the kitchen if he was on the Celtics.
Okay, so what about Luka?
Yeah, I'd rather have Smart than Luka. There you go. There's your short. And here's why. Because he literally dominates the ball. Look at the way now he kind of has to. Dallas kind of sucks other than Luka. But in all seriousness, you're not going to get the best Luka or the best Tatum.
Yeah.
If they're on the same team.
And definitely not the best Smart.
And you're not going to get defense.
Jaylen. I mean, not the best Jaylen. Okay.
You're not getting defense from Luka.
All right. We can cut the would rather. Oh, last one. Ja Morant.
Nah, Ja's too much fun. I'd take him.
Ja's awesome. Awesome. Okay. We can move on from grilling you about Marcus Smart now. That was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's not 2K, people. You can't just put people on the team and it'll work. All right. Don't get mad. Don't tell me I'm an idiot.
I agree. All right.
I'm just biased.
I want to talk about Jaylen again. We talked about me defending the article on the live, which excuse me, I think went up as a podcast anyways, but something I've noticed with Jaylen Brown. And even Jason Tatum, I'll lump him in because people get mad when I target Jaylen. I said this on the stream yesterday. When Jaylen and or Jason start with the ball in their hands on an offensive possession, it usually ends in a terrible shot.
Unless it was an absolute heater, like against Milwaukee.
Yeah, unless they're just making everything, which will happen. I mean, obviously will happen. But, excuse me, for the most part, when Jason and Jaylen are the ones initiating the offense, the Celtics, I feel like, get worse looks. And that's not even just like, versus Marcus Smart. That's versus literally anybody else. Because the risk you run with those two having the ball in their hands is like, I don't know about you, but when Jaylen gets the ball, I can tell whether or not he's going to shoot it. And if I can tell whether or not he's going to shoot it, then the other team can probably tell whether or not he's going to shoot it. Do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, you can tell when Jaylen gets the ball if that ball is going to get passed again, right? And usually the answer is no, right? And on games like the Bucks game where he scores 30, and I don't even want to lump in the Minnesota game because he had a great fourth quarter, but outside of that fourth quarter, he was awful.
Oh, like, you were talking on Twitter in the third quarter, and
rightfully so, because he was terrible.
Oh, I agree.
But
I backed you up.
Thank you, I appreciate that. When those two have the ball in their hands to start the offensive possession, I just feel like it's not as good versus anybody else because they're almost always going to look to score because they're so good at it. And I think that's why you need someone else, initiating the offense. And
sorry, my iPad just died at 99% when I was trying to tweet something, and I'm so mad.
Sam raging in the background of the podcast.
How do you die at 99%?
That is tough.
Hey, look, it's turning back on now. Do you see the apple on the screen?
You gotta plug it in.
It's turning back on.
You gotta plug it in, but I know
you're
not
gonna plug it in all the time. I can't take it off I'm ruining your thing. I'm sorry.
I'll jump right back in. This is only going to further my standing as a quote unquote Jaylen hater, which people like to call me. But from the way Jaylen's been playing, and someone said this in the Celtics blog chat, so I'm regurgitating a little bit. He has become one-dimensional. He just has. He's a scorer, right? He doesn't really do, and he's one of the best scorers, right? And he's a solid rebounder, but he's not a good passer. He has not been a good defender this year, objectively, like off the ball, on the ball. He's just not been a good defender this year, which he has been in years past, which is concerning. And when he gets the ball, especially in that Minnesota game, like before he was hot, even, you just knew he wasn't going to pass, right? Like, you saw him catch it, and you just knew it was going to be a shot, whether it was a layup or was it going to be something else. I've seen talks, or like I've seen this discussion popped up of, in hindsight, would you have rather made the Kevin Durant trade?
Oh, I've asked the question.
Yes.
Have I asked it on here?
I don't think so.
I think I have.
I think it's as much as Jaylen is younger, Jaylen is solid, but like, you've seen how KD's been playing this year. You see how Jaylen's been playing, and everyone loves to point out, he's career high scoring numbers. Like, what do you mean? He's shooting, like, he's scoring so well. Yes, he's scoring so well, and yes, he's averaging more rebounds, more points, and he's shooting very well from the field because of his red hot mid range. He's shooting a career low from three. So let's not act like he's this red hot 3-point shooter. He's shooting a career low on a career low attempts, or I'm sorry, a career high attempts. His free throw shooting is
combinations.
Yeah, his free throw shooting is better, but it's still below 80 now, thanks to his awful performance from the line against the Bucks, right? His assists haven't improved in 3 seasons of him having more of, a role in the offense. And so the question is, who would you rather have on this team right now, Sam? Like, I know it sucks.
You just put me through the grill 5 minutes ago.
I know, but let me ask you right now. I'll say it clear as day so I can make it a short. I'm just gonna say it again for the sake of the short. Who would you rather have on the Celtics team right now, Jaylen Brown or Kevin Durant? Because not to go all Stephen A, but I know what my answer is.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Jaylen Brown has had a really bad 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Really bad. However, before that, he had a remarkable start to the year. And he has begun to turn it around. This is 2 games, 5 quarters in a row where he has been effective. I think that has to do with confidence. I think it's very difficult for him to score if he doesn't believe in himself. I think we saw that. So I'm going to say him just because of the longevity. You're going to have him. He's younger. All the things you said. But also, as a whole, he's had a good season.
Sure.
Lately, he's been very rough. And I agree. And I have the same frustrations as you. And I've had the same thoughts of, I sure would love KD on this team. But, I don't know. It's not worth it.
See, I hate talking about this because I know I'm gonna get.
You brought it up, Mister. I want the clicks on my short.
I'm talking about what I'm about to say. Because people love Jaylen Brown. People love there's 2 stars. People love the Jays and Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and me talking about this. I always say I'm not a Jaylen hater. I just think he could be better. Maybe I'm turning into a Jaylen hater.
No,
maybe it's happening. I think
because you are relentless.
Well, it's hard.
Controversy.
Jaylen Brown is the fill in the blank. Jaylen Brown is the best player on the Celtics. What is he?
Second.
Okay. He is 5th in plus minus, which I'm sorry. I know you can say, plus minus.
Plus
whatever.
Minus matters when you're an important player on a team. I agree.
He is
Go ahead.
5th on the Celtics in plus minus. He is behind Derek White. He is behind Al Horford. He is behind Marcus Smart. And obviously, he is behind Jason Tatum. His plus minus is almost half of Jason Tatum's per game. It's 7.8 versus 4, right? Meaning, and they share the court for a good amount of time, right? They're on the court a lot. So that means when Jason Tatum is off the court and it's Jaylen Brown and the rest, it is probably really not good, right? And we've seen that. Jaylen in the bench lineups don't work. Right? Am I right? Jason in the bench lineups are good. Jaylen in the bench lineups do not work. And I'm looking at cleaning the glass here. And you can look at, on off stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. On off efficiency in 4 factors, which I'm not going to sit here and tell you I can explain every detail, but it is a good way to show you, how good a player is, on versus off the court, their impact, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you an example here. Excuse me, as it loads. The best for how many games would a team win in an 82-game season with this efficiency differential? Effectively saying, how much better does this player make their team on a night-to-night? And the prime example is Jokic at a plus 56 expected win, which is ridiculous.
So basically what you're saying is Jokic and the boys out there in Denver.
which is absurd.
Is Luka next?
No, it's actually Luka is sitting at plus 25.
I'm not convinced that this is real then, because he's literally the only guy.
Some of these are also this isn't exact plus minus. For example, Lindy Waters is second because he's played so few minutes that he's qualifying on this big board.
I don't know what team that guy's on.
Exactly. But my point is, Jokic is in the 100th percentile. Luka Doncic is in the 91st percentile.
Okay,
Jason Tatum is in the 87th percentile. Jaylen Brown is down there chilling in the 17th percentile. He has a negative expected win thing on cleaning the glass, right? He is the worst Celtic on this list. Sam Hauser
it's fair.
Luke Cornett's above him. Noah Vonleh has a better expected win than Jaylen Brown. And of course, that's playing so many minutes. But my point is, I think it's gotten to... This is going to be a hot take. Because I think he obviously helps the team. And obviously he can play with Jason Tatum. Obviously, he can play with Jason Tatum. They've done that. I'll defend that to the death. You can't argue with past results. But is he the perfect player next to Jason Tatum? No, he's not. He's just objectively not. Because, and I'll say this, if he develops a better playmaking game and with the ability to pass better, yes, he's absolutely the best player next to Jason Tatum. If he can get back to where he was on defense, if he can develop that willingness and awareness to make that extra pass on offense, absolutely he is. But with the way he's been playing this season, I would rather have Kevin Durant. Right? Like Kevin Durant has been objectively better than Jaylen Brown this season.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you see what he's doing with that Nets team? Kyrie Irving is back, so he has to help. But for the most part, it's KD and Kyrie with the boys out there, right? Like they have
not really.
Well, it's better than Luka, right? Like
Their
he has more than Luka.
Somewhat deep. They've got those two, Joe Harris. They've got Seth
Claxton
Curry.
is the only other player on the team averaging more than 10.
Okay, well, it's better. That's an argument.
And I
in theory, they have players that should be able to help them.
They do.
That's
they do. And they have solid players. Royce O'Neal has been so good for them this season. He's averaging like 10, 5, and 5 for them. He's been great on defense. But KD's averaging 36.5 and 5 assists on 56% from the field, 36% from 3 with, top-notch defense. Like, my issue, and this was always my issue with the Jaylen Brown KD trade things, is I wouldn't have given up Jaylen and Marcus, or Jaylen and Derek White, or Jaylen and you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have given up the and. But if you're telling me the Celtics could have gotten Kevin Durant for Jaylen Brown and like 2 first-round picks, I was never against it, and now I'm really, you know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know. Jaylen, maybe at this point you might just call me a Jaylen hater, but
this is better for you in the long run, in my opinion.
Sure.
And I know Jaylen Brown has played, I think that the right term is kind of reckless, and I think that's why the numbers
selfish.
are what
I think
they
selfish
are.
is another good word.
I don't know if selfish is the right word. I think reckless is a better word.
Unaware,
maybe.
Like I don't know. He's just, from what I think,
selfish is a personality attack.
Sure.
The other two are play style attacks.
I mean, even he said it the other night in his post game. He's like, the only thing affecting the way I'm playing is me, right? Like, I don't think anybody else can stop me. But the only thing, like, I just don't think he has the mentality that he needs to be on this specific Celtics team, right? Like,
I do.
What do you mean?
I do. I think he does. I think this is a very similar Celtics team that the team that you saw last year. I think he was a good piece to that team. He was pretty good in the finals, right? He was better than Tatum in the finals. Yeah, he was.
Yes, sure.
He was. He's fine.
Although I think that gets blown out of proportion a little bit, right? Like he was better than Tatum, but I don't think he was like, oh, Jaylen Brown was so much better in this one series. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, nobody was really that much better than anybody. They were all ass. Yeah. They all choked. But he's fine. It is December, almost January.
I know.
It doesn't mean that there isn't concern to be had.
He has been very disappointing to me this year, despite the scoring. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you have unjust grievances. It's true. What you're saying is true. Your points are all valid. Your article's valid. Your arguments with people in the chat are valid. But it doesn't mean that he's bad. It just means he's maybe a little off right now. And he hasn't found his part. He hasn't adjusted yet. I don't know. I think the thing about his mindset is more about his confidence than anything else, because really what I got out of those quotes is he was not believing in himself. I think he realizes
he's believing in himself enough to not pass the ball. Like, that's my issue. I think he believes he doesn't, I don't want to say he believes in himself too much, but he's just too focused on getting himself going. This is the same issue we had with Tatum 2 years ago.
What's his career 3-point percentage?
Excuse me. His career 3-point percentage is 36.9%, 37.
Okay. Fine. He shoots 37% from 3 for his career. This season, he's shooting
33.8.
Okay. Yeah. So it's definitely down. Now, when we were arguing and the Celtics were shooting poorly, and before then, I was like, they take too many threes. Do I think Jaylen Brown takes too many threes? Yeah, I do. But I'll say this. Your argument back to me was, they're still good shots. Now, that doesn't mean all of Jaylen Brown's shots are good, because they're not. But there are plenty of shots he should take and continue to take for his confidence. And
Sure,
I think you saw him press in these recent games. Not that that's a good thing, but I think that's because he was losing his confidence a bit.
Press meaning just
forcing
the issue.
Force, okay, yes. And I think that's why you saw the lack of focus. I think that's why you got those post-game comments. And it could have been why Marcus Smart mentioned pressing, because it's true. He definitely was pressing. It's good that he's making shots again. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to affect his play style going forward.
See, excuse me. I think the Milwaukee game was the perfect Jaylen Brown game. Sure, there were issues. He wasn't perfect. Blah blah blah. But
it was like
in terms of his shots, he was letting his shots come within the flow of the offense. He's getting the ball from Smart. He's taking open threes. Blah blah blah. I think where things go wrong is when he tries to get to the shots himself, because let's call a spade, not that good driving through traffic. Just not. He loses the ball consistently. He, I mean, as I pointed out in my article, he loves to take within the flow of the offense, pass, zip, zip, zip. He likes to take the shot rather than make the extra pass. And I'll get 40% of the time he makes the shot because he's a great player. But that still doesn't mean it was the best shot the Celtics could have gotten, right? I believe in that sort of stuff. I'm trying to find the exact stat here, but in the month of December, Jaylen Brown's let's see if the stats back up my theory first before
this is always the most nerve-wracking part of trying to pick an angle.
My theory is effectively, I feel like Jaylen Brown has been touching, holding the ball too long for a lot in order to get to shots. And I don't know how to find that exact stat, but my bet, which I'm again hoping I'm correct here.
Check dribbles.
Average touch per second. Never mind. I think looks like the exact.
Can you check dribbles? Do they track that? I know they were talking about Harden's
dribbles per touch. Yes. So in the month of December, Jaylen, again, before this is completely backfires in my face, we'll see. In the month of December, Jaylen Brown's average dribbles per touch is sitting at 2.88, which is more than Jason Tatum. The only players with more on the team are the 4-point guards, Brogdon, Smart, Pritchard, White. Against the Bucks, and hopefully the stat doesn't glitch out. Last game, his average dribbles per touch sitting at 2.82. Okay, it's the exact same. It doesn't it doesn't back one up. But you know what I'm saying though? From the way he got to his spots against the Bucks, it looked like it was more playing within the offense rather than, okay, I'm Jaylen Brown, I need to get going, let's do this. It seemed like he was more in control versus the first 3 games of that Timberwolves game where he was, again, let's call a spade, he was chucking. He was just letting go. And I mean, for a good stretch of time there in the third quarter, if he got the ball, he was not passing the ball. And it turned around in the fourth quarter, which was great. But this ends my Jaylen Brown hate for the day.
Because one thing I'd like to see from Jaylen Brown that I think we've really seen Jason Tatum get better at over the last couple seasons is being a great off the ball player. So you can really rely on Tatum as the roll man in the pick and roll. You've seen him and Smart play really, really well together this season. You're seeing him score off cuts. Jaylen does it too, because I was complaining about it the other day.
Not as often though, you're right.
I was complaining about it the other day, and he literally did it the next possession. But you're right, not as much.
That's the best, right?
So I think it would be a really great part of his game to improve on, for him to be a more efficient and a better fit in this Celtics team. Not that he doesn't fit, but to be even better than he is now.
Yes, I know.
To amend these critiques that are valid that you have.
Excuse me. Absolutely. No, absolutely. I know exactly what you're saying. My biggest thing has always been for me the just being more willing to make the extra pass. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. It just feels like he stops the offensive flow and the offensive rhythm a bunch. And too often do you see a possession where it's Jaylen Brown gets the ball, dribble, drive into the paint, take a contested shot, right? I feel like these are the same issues that we had with Jason Tatum, at the start of last year and in the 2019-20 season. And I just don't think Jaylen Brown has gotten to that next step yet. And I'm not saying he can't, but like he just hasn't been able to develop as a passer as well as Tatum just yet.
No, definitely not.
Like
not yet.
Tatum's again in before the stats don't agree with me, but Tatum's assists, I'm pretty sure have gone up every season, right? Like he's just improved as a passer. They're a little bit down this year, but like from 2 to 3 to 4, and now he's inching on 4.5 last year. But like he's improving as a passer, and Jaylen for the last 3 seasons. I guess Tatum's a little similar, but he averages more. And it like the bench units are the perfect example. Jaylen Brown Jason Tatum being more willing to make that extra pass, being more willing to facilitate. You can just tell the small differences. But
Jaylen's the ugly stepchild to you, man. He can't do. He can't really do anything right. Not that what you're saying isn't true, but it's really tough for him to look good next to Jason Tatum.
Yes,
especially
I will say
with the season that Jason Tatum's having.
Pure scorer, I might lean Jaylen, and that's crazy because Tatum's averaging more points. As a pure scorer, I'm talking like if you need someone to go down there and get you a bucket, I might take Jaylen.
I can see why you say that, just because he really does a great job at getting to that half circle.
You got to remember,
Jason Tatum
gets a lot of his points. He gets more free throws than Jaylen. He gets more off-ball cuts, which again Jaylen can improve up, but Jason Tatum gets all those cuts more. He shoots a lot of threes, so he just gets more points. Like as a pure scorer, you need a bucket. I'll take Jaylen Brown. But as a complete basketball player, I just think Jaylen needs to add that passing and needs to get back to the defense he was playing a couple years ago because it's just not there this year. But back to the reason I started the conversation. KD or Jaylen Brown?
Minutes?
Yeah, we've been ranting. I think that was about all we had talked about. I mean, I'd say I feel bad for going on another Jaylen rant to get people mad at me, but I don't. I don't really care. You can hate me if you want.
Dick Jack.
Okay. To wrap it up here. I have adding to the rat list, but that was just Thanasis, I think, right?
It was Thanasis. Thanasis is a massive rat. He really is. Like he's just like always. He's like up, like screaming on the bench, and like he was halfway up the sideline yesterday at one point in that game, and it wasn't when they were in the scuffle. Like it was just like something happened, and he was just like up. Like, dude, go back to Greece. You're the worst.
I was gonna let you rant about the other teams in the East being good if you want to do that.
It's just annoying. Like
Nets and the Sixers.
That's really all I have. Like it's annoying. Now the Celtics are good, so everybody else has to be good, and they have to be competitive. What we talked about before the show is like when the Cavs were good with LeBron a couple years ago, there really wasn't any real threat to them. It's not.
Yeah,
fair.
It was just the Celtics in second, and that was about it.
And that gap was further.
It was a big gap. It was a big gap. But it's like when the Warriors were dominating the West. It was them and the Rockets, I guess. But the Rockets were always.
See, I felt that was more about the Warriors being good than the rest being bad.
Okay, but the East was just kind of bad.
Like before, like even in 2018, like that Cavs team wasn't good. But
who was even the third best team outside of the Celtics and the Sixers? Were they were okay that year? They were solid.
No, it wasn't the Pacers. Yeah, see, like that's what it is.
Guess the standings.
We can't tell you the standings in the East. What do you want at what year?
Whatever year you'd like.
All right, do 2018.
Oh, we haven't even said the number one seed in the East.
Yeah, because it was Toronto.
Exactly. Yeah, Toronto was number one. It's Toronto, Boston, Philly, Cleveland, like we said. And then 5 was, you can hit me up with it.
It was Indiana.
Mm-hmm. And
then Philly had Miami. Celtics played Milwaukee.
Milwaukee was 7.
Toronto played Washington.
Wow, look at you go. Sheesh. Yeah, well, you got the 1 through 8 perfect. Exactly right. Some things never change, man. The Bulls were still sitting in 13th. The Magic's still in 14th. Like that's brutal, man.
I'll tell you what, the man Phrase knows ball. I don't know if you've been on Twitter since we were doing the show.
Phrase.
But
Phrase,
he did say people waste a lot of breath calling Zach LaVine a superstar on this app. Sheesh.
He's not. I will say though, Zach LaVine.
Who's better, him or Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown, shut up. Okay. That's not even close. That's not.
Well,
even
I
close.
didn't know. I didn't know how far you would take the haters.
I'm picky with Jaylen Brown because I think he can be so great.
You're a disappointed parent.
Sure, if that's when you say it, but it is not even close. Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine. Like Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker's closer. I think Devin Booker's better, but like it's closer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the tier Jaylen belongs in. Jaylen is a top 5 shooting guard in the league. 5 shooting guard in the league. Do I think
better? I'm trying to think.
I just want him to learn to play within the flow of the offense a little bit better rather than
you say Jimmy Butler's better.
I put Jimmy Butler at small forward. That's just how I okay. Now, not that it matters, but if we're talking straight shooting guards, Devin Booker's up there. Donovan Mitchell's up there better. Paul George, if you want to put him at shooting guard, I think he's right on par. I'd probably put him a little better.
You're putting him at shooting guard, but not Jimmy Butler.
Based on where they play this season, yeah. Right? Because Jimmy Butler's playing with Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero. And Paul George is playing with Reggie Jackson, Kawhi, Marcus Morris, and Zubac. Okay, so like, if we're doing it that way,
Paul George has been a small forward his whole career.
He's been both. Brandon Ingram, depending on where you want to put him.
He's a shooting guard. First of all, he's not better than Brown, but
no, that's the level. I put Jaylen Brown.
That's one I won't concede. I'll never concede that.
No, I'd put JB above him. I'd put they're. I think that's about as close as it gets, though. I think
Gilgeous Alexander. We already did this. We don't need to do
I think SGA's been he's having a better season, but I think Jaylen Brown is probably the better player, if that makes sense.
Fine.
So that's where I'll go with that. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that's good for shooting guards. That's all right. He's top 5 on my list. I think JT top 5 right now in the league.
Yeah, he might be the best.
Mm-hmm. Better than well, after what he did to Giannis, maybe.
Well, no, like this, like I don't know. Is he the best player in the world? Probably not. I think that's still Giannis. But is he the MVP? Yeah. Right now he's the MVP.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people are calling it off. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's too early." Yeah, a lot of people want to put Jokic there. I think Jokic
is not the MVP. Actually, Denver is number 1, right?
I was gonna say if there's any year for Jokic to be MVP, it's this one, which is crazy.
Okay, fair, but I don't know. Tatum has been on another planet, dude.
He's been ridiculous.
And he beat Jokic by 20.
Yeah, he did. The Nuggets are 21-11 right now, top of the Western Conference, and Jokic's numbers. Shall we take a look at Jokic's numbers this year?
Is it triple-double?
Excuse me. No, not that yet, but he's dominating all the advanced metrics.
But triple-doubles don't even impress me anymore with like the way the game has changed.
Close.
Not him. Just in general.
He's averaging 25.4 points, 11 rebounds, and 9.4 assists on 61.6% shooting from the field.
That's just the way the team's built.
Shooting. He's ridiculous. Jokic is so stupid, man. That's ridiculous.
Oh, he is stupid. I remember they played the Celtics a couple years ago, and he was making some crazy shots. He looked like a 7-foot Larry Bird, like making fadeaways like it was nothing, not even hitting the rim.
I will say, in the conversation about who's the best in the league, he is severely underrated, right? Like some people have him outside the top 5. So people have him outside the top 5, which is like obscene. He's absolutely a top 5 player in the world.
I don't know. He's just not like scary. He's not. He doesn't put fear into your heart like these other guys on the list.
I guess, but
who would you rather play in a playoff series, him or Durant?
All right. Well,
who would you rather play in a playoff series, him or Giannis? Even though I think Giannis is the best, so it's unfair. Mm-hmm. Who would you rather play in a playoff series, him or Tatum? Who would you rather play in a playoff series, him or Steph?
Yes, I think those are the only 4 players better than him, though. I think that's your top 5.
I was going to say Embiid, but like
I'd rather play Embiid.
Embiid doesn't strike fear into my heart because I'm a Celtics fan. They always just beat the Sixers.
I'd rather play Embiid. I'd rather play, and I think that's the top 5. If I had to pick my top 5 players in the world, shit, you're killing me now.
You'd rather play.
Well, my thing is,
I'd almost rather play Donovan. I'd rather play him than Donovan Mitchell. But that's just because Donovan Mitchell lights up the Celtics. That's just all I know.
My thing is,
I don't think Ja's better than him. I don't think you could say I'd rather play Jokic.
Well, we're talking about this though. Jokic's playoff success is underrated. I know he's never made the finals, but like he's made the conference.
He made the conference finals. Right? They came back from 3-1 twice in the bubble.
Mm-hmm. And he's only gotten knocked out in the first round of the playoffs once in his 4 or 5 attempts.
Against the Warriors.
Yeah. So like, and against the Warriors with nobody on the roster. like Murray was hurt.
Yeah, Murray.
MPJ was hurt. I think who's the second best player? Will Barton, right? Like,
Jokic and the boys.
let's give him credit for getting there. And now this year, I mean, we both talked about it before the season. Jamal Murray's averaging 18 points. Aaron Gordon was on the team last year. He's playing well this year. Michael Porter Jr. is back playing well.
Here I am saying I'd rather play Jokic and Donovan Mitchell when they came back from 3-1 on the Jazz. I'm sure people that really paid attention to what I said will love that.
Yeah, but Bruce Brown, I know he's a guy you wanted. He's playing well for Denver this year.
Well, good for him.
They've got a lot of guys. They've got a lot of players. DeAndre Jordan actually getting minutes. So take for that what you will. But he's got help this year. I think they're a finals contender. I think the West is super wide open, though. It's going to be fun to watch. From a purely basketball perspective, without having to worry about the Celtics in the West, like it'll be fun. Like genuinely though, the Nuggets.
I plan on being more involved. I'm going to start getting in on all the fun. I watched more than one game yesterday. How about that?
Look at that. I don't think I even watched more than one game yesterday.
Well, that's because you had things to do, probably. I didn't. It was just me.
Let me go down the list. You tell me if they could win the Western Conference.
Okay. Right.
Denver.
See, I don't know. We're already there. We're like, I don't know.
Wait. Come on. You don't think Denver could win the West?
This just goes back to me, like, not like, I don't know, like Jokic
the last time he had Murray for the playoffs, they made it to the second round, and he got hurt.
No, they made it to the conference. Oh, never mind. That's 2021. They made it second.
They lost to who did they lose to that year? You know what I'm talking about?
Might have been. It might have been
last
LA.
year. They lost in the first round. 2 years ago, they lost to Phoenix in the semifinals. They lost to Phoenix.
Okay.
They beat the Blazers in 6, then they got swept by the by the Suns. So you don't think
we can go down
Denver
the list?
Denver's
just
I think yes.
They do not strike fear into my heart.
Come on.
I'm sorry. This isn't even like me being a hater. It's just like I don't know, man.
Denver can win the West. I think Denver can win the West.
Okay, I'd love it.
New Orleans.
I'd love to play them in the finals. New Orleans, no.
You don't think what?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Who are you afraid of on that team?
I think Brandon Ingram's a killer. I think Zion Williamson's scary good this year again.
Zion, who is not playing because he's out of shape right now. By the way.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
I'm going to say exactly that was because it was sent to me today.
Excuse me.
I'll tell you what it
CJ's good. Herb, they've got a great supporting cast. Valanciunas is solid. Larry Nance can play the backup. I think they've got a really good roster. I think they can win the West too. Absolutely, they can. Memphis. You think Memphis can win the West?
Pelicans say Zion Williamson, quote in parentheses, return to competition reconditioning, is doubtful to play against Indiana tonight via Mark Stein.
Brutal. That is tough. All right. Well, I think they can win the West still. I think they have less of a chance.
They're
an
unproven team.
Sure.
And as funny as it sounds, because you did bring up history, like Denver to me is an unproven team.
What?
I'm sorry. That's
like saying the Celtics were an unproven team before last year.
I don't think so.
I think it's the same.
Before last year, they went to 3 conference finals in the last 5 seasons.
Denver went to 1 in the past 2. Like I know I guess it's not the same, but like with the core the Celtics had, like it's not like the Celtics did that with the exact same core. They did with 2 slightly, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's been slightly different. But I don't know, man. Neither one of those teams are like the killers to me.
Okay, what about
Who's
Memphis?
Next? Memphis, yeah.
I think they can win the West too. They're good.
Their team's really deep and Ja's nasty.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, after that we have the Clippers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Here's my issue. If the Nuggets aren't a proven team, then the Clippers sure as hell aren't a proven team.
Kawhi's not a proven player. He took a body bag to a championship.
Kawhi hasn't been able to stay healthy.
You call it not healthy. I call it lazy.
I think Denver
is saving himself. He's absent from basketball.
Denver is just as proven as the Clippers, and they have the better player. They have the best player out of both those teams.
In the playoffs, who strikes more fear into my heart? Kawhi does.
I'd take Jokic right now.
It's fair.
I'm going
it's
Jokic.
Definitely up for debate. I think Kawhi having 2 Finals MVPs does it for me. Yeah.
No. Yes. That's fair. That's fair. I just think I don't know. I think they can win the West though. They can. Phoenix.
Future's now old man, so it's very fair.
Can Phoenix win the West?
They have before. I don't know, just because like
I'm hesitant.
They're
on Phoenix
kind of
this
a
year.
mess. You're into Phoenix,
I'm hesitant.
I think you said you're
year.
heavy into them. Yeah, I don't know, man. The Celtics only beat them by 50.
That they did.
I say just because they've done it before, maybe they can come together. But
I think my favorites to win the West. Who's your favorites to win the West? If you had to pick a team right now saying they're going to win the West, who would you go with? I have two.
See, I want to say the Warriors, even though they're like bad.
Even though they're below
bad.
500.
Yeah, they're below 500, and this is like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, you feel like they should be better than they are.
They should be better than what they are.
It's like scary to me. I guess like logistically, that's tough.
I'm going Denver and or Memphis. I think those are my top two to win. I
think Memphis.
Denver and Memphis.
Well, you saw Josh say it. Josh said, Hey, I'm not afraid. I'm not thinking about anybody in the West. Yeah.
I'm only scared of the Celtics.
He's scared of the Celtics because they're letting everyone walk all over them.
The next one in the West is Sacramento, which I'm assuming you're going to say no go.
The answer is no, but I sure would love that. Good for Sacramento. I told you before the season I was rooting for them because they went in.
Happy for Sacramento.
Nobody strikes fear into your heart like Sabonis.
That's foul.
He's like Walmart Jokic, who doesn't.
I will say, okay, the Jazz are next, and obviously, I think we're both going to say no. I will say though, down in 8th place, similar to the Warriors, can the Mavericks win the West? Like, as much as they don't have
not
a
in the
great,
playoffs, they're not going to be successful. I don't think
they did it last year. They had
Jaylen Brunson last year. He was more. They
have Christian Wood this year.
I don't care. Who's if you put Christian Wood on the Knicks and you put Brunson back on the Mavs,
Jaylen Brunson is a better player than Christian Wood. But
not only is he a better player than Christian Wood, but he gives you more
ball handling
flexibility if you're the Mavericks. You don't have to.
They have Dinwiddie now back there.
Dinwiddie's fine. He's good.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is back too.
Yeah. I just think losing Brunson's big for them. They don't have really a secondary creator. Dinwiddie's a different type of player than Jaylen Brunson.
I will say though, if we're talking players you're scared of in a playoff series, Luka's top 3.
Yeah,
absolutely top 3.
I agree.
So I think the Mavericks can still win the West. I still believe that. I was a big Mavericks guy last year, and
I think Dallas has a more realistic shot to win the West than.
Careful.
Maybe
New Orleans.
New Orleans, definitely New Orleans.
Phoenix, LA.
Phoenix, maybe not the Clippers. Because
Denver,
despite their like hospital struggles, like the Clippers on paper have a deep team.
They do. They're good.
And if they get the band out there for April through June, they certainly could make some noise and play some music.
Yes.
But I don't know if I say they're more likely than Denver. Denver is a team that is deep, and they have Jokic, who's an MVP candidate.
Do you want to do this for the East now?
Yeah, we can do it for the East because it's like literally everyone, which is annoying.
Not going to be happy about it. Celtics.
Celtics, yes. They did last year.
Bucks.
Yes. They've won.
Nets.
Yes.
Cleveland.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. See, this is really annoying. See, why is it this easy for the East? This
Philly?
is not fair.
Philly,
no.
I know you don't like it, but
no, because they've never even made the conference finals.
I know. Well, the Cavs haven't with the score.
That's fair. I don't know. Cleveland's like more real to me.
Okay. I think Philly can. I think it's much less.
Cleveland's a better team than Philly.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree. I'm just saying, like, I don't think the 76ers will, but can they? Sure. I think they're up there. I think I'd lump them in behind Cleveland. New York, Knicks, can they?
Can they get out of the first round? No. Will they make the play-in? Maybe.
Atlanta. Can Atlanta win the East? Indiana.
Atlanta, who had no business making the conference finals.
I'll say this. If there is a team that I'd want to win the East outside of the Celtics, it'd be the Pacers. I like the Pacers. There's no chance in hell, but I like the Pacers. No.
Probably. Like, out of all the other teams, like, they're probably the most likable. Like, their fans. I like them.
Well, you say they're fans because I don't think I've ever met a Pacers fan.
That's what I mean. Like, you don't know their fans exist. Like, it's not like Milwaukee where, like, Milwaukee's a likable team. Thanasis is a rat, and their fans are rats. So that's enough for me. I like
Brooklyn
Giannis.
fans also awful. Hate Brooklyn fans. The two of them there are.
Well, Kyrie's the biggest rat.
I'll say this: out of the teams that are realistically capable of winning the East, if the Celtics don't win, which obviously Celtics guys,
Celtics are the favorites, and then Milwaukee,
Cavs.
who's kind of.
I wouldn't hate if Cleveland won the East. If the Celtics don't,
I mean, I like Donovan Mitchell.
Cool. Garland's
the rest of the guys are fine.
Jared Allen's fun. Mobley's fun.
Right? I don't think Cleveland has any rats.
Robin Lopez. No, I like Robin Lopez.
No, I like Robin Lopez. He's real funny.
Mo Wagner, rat list. I still love that. He's on the rat list.
We need like a sound cue for the rat list or something like that, or like a graphic that comes up, like it goes rat list, like a stamp on the screen or something.
I'm trying to look at the roster and see if there's any rats. Kevin Love, no. Isaac Gordon, no. There's no rats. I don't think there's any rats.
No rats on the Cavs. Good for them.
nothing I'm seeing. Back to the standings. Quickly run through it. Heat. Can the Heat win the East?
No.
No. Raptors. No, they're in shambles.
Nope.
Obviously,
Bulls, that's as far down as
Magic,
goes.
Hornets. Because Hornets. By the way, yikes! Hornets are bad.
Yeah, Hornets are bad. They're doing everything not to be bad.
It's just so so. Funny.
Mike's like, all right, come on back, Miles. We'll take you.
That's so sad. That's so disappointing. Like that's a joke.
It's just like out of nowhere too.
He's got to go.
Did he get off? Did he get off the charges?
No, he pleaded no contest, which means he was just like,
he's saying, like, go ahead, do what you want.
Yeah, it was just like, I think it's called no contest, but he's a grade A scumbag. Oh, loser.
And Rhode Island is called nolo contendere.
Yeah, fuck
which
that
I
guy.
had to write many times, and I was like, "Is that a real thing?" Like the first time I saw that in a press release, I was like, "What is that?"
This is an official Miles Bridges Hate Club podcast. Fuck that guy. Yeah, I think that covers it. I don't think anybody else out there can win anything. Your Pistons, by the way, you had in the play-in.
Did I say Pistons? I got them mixed up with the Pacers.
Yeah,
wrong. Both in that Central Division. What are you gonna do?
If you
Pacers are everything I thought they'd be.
Let me ask you this right now. If you had to choose a team outside of the Celtics, like say you were a new NBA person, you lived in, I don't know, fucking England or something, and you had to pick a favorite team based on whatever you want, watchability, most fun, players on the team. If you had to pick a favorite team in the league,
no, it's not the Celtics. Choose? I won't.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. That. Well, yeah. No shit. I was hoping you would know. Like that's the point of the conversation. I have a couple that I would enjoy. I have a few that I think are top tier that I would pick. I'll let you go first though. I don't want to spoil.
Well, if you're not, if you're a new fan, I'm not going to answer this too objectively. I'm going to still answer it from my standpoint. I would say Indiana, Sacramento.
Ooh, Kings getting some love.
Dude, I told you before the season I was rooting for Sacramento.
They're cool. It's the beam is sick. I love the beam.
The beam is funny. Yeah, the beam kind of blew up. I like that. I think I would really like that Orlando team, actually.
They're fun. Paolo Banchero is nasty, dude.
I would like Orlando.
He's nice. Grizzlies. I'd go. Grizzlies are top 2.
Oh, Memphis. Yeah. How did I forget that
so sick. They're so fun.
Yeah, I watched 2 Grizzlies games this weekend. So there you go.
They're badass. They're very fun. Luka, Mavs, just for Luka. Luka's sick. I love watching Luka.
See, I think Luka's a rat.
No, you can't put Luka on the list.
No. Actually, Luka is like the definition of a rat because the OG definition of the rat from my man Matt, who is he coined the term rat.
The rat, yes.
A little bit about Matt. He's an umpire for baseball, so he respects officials across all lands.
Yep.
And a rat is traditionally somebody that is always complaining to the officials. So Luka,
Jason Tatum's a rat.
Jason Tatum's a rat. Oh yeah. Me and Smash the Odds talk about this all the time.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Tatum and Grant are both rats by definition.
Grant is a big rat if that's your definition.
Yep. So Luka is also a rat. But Luka's also a rat just because he hits buzzer beaters on the Celtics, and I don't like him.
Fair. I think Thunder would also be a good one. Shea is nasty. He's cool.
There's a lot of fun teams in the NBA right now.
There are. Pelicans are fun. Cavs are fun. Excuse me. The Pacers are fun. All time definitely wouldn't pick teams. Wizards in a hellscape. I was
the
a Wizards guy at the start of the
year. Their jerseys suck. Like there's nothing fun about the Wizards. Like
no.
Okay, like let's see. No. Like let's see like teams that like are kind of in purgatory. Like The Pacers
Utah's
kind of
found
good
themselves
colors.
back in purgatory again, huh?
Who's this?
Utah. They kind of shoved themselves back into NBA purgatory a little bit with their.
They did and they didn't because they're gonna have those Minnesota.
They have
picks,
a way out, which are gonna be
bad.
Pretty good. Excuse me. I'm looking around. As much as they're fun, the Kings are kind of in purgatory. Let's be real.
They are. They're Pacers West.
They're absolutely in purgatory.
They said, okay, we'll take Sabonis from you and we'll give you our best player. And we're going to be mediocre, but we haven't made the playoffs since 2006. So we're going to try.
As star-powered heavy as they are, the Lakers, not great. Right? Like AD, LeBron, cool.
Oh, they're screwed.
They're in a bad place.
No, like they're legitimately screwed. They don't have a draft pick. AD is not going to play for a while.
Mm-hmm.
What they have now with LeBron isn't winning them games.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to get any better.
Knicks are in purgatory too. They're like, as cool as I like Jalen Brunson, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not.
I will say, as in purgatory as they are, I think they've put themselves in a better position with all the picks they have because they have a shit ton of first round picks they can trade. So, and I know you don't like Zach LaVine, but like a guy like Zach LaVine would elevate that team. Having somebody who you could go to, like Zach LaVine on the Knicks, wouldn't have to do anything but score the ball, right? Like
in theory, he'd be a good addition, but I think first of all, I see people from the Knicks really hate Tibbs. So I'm not someone that thinks Tibbs and LaVine would be great friends. So if you put LaVine on that team, he's not getting along with Billy Donovan. He's not going to get along with Tibbs.
I think they should also get rid of Tibbs.
Well, Tibbs is
he is not. He is not within. I do like Tibbs. I do, but that's not his. That's not a team for him. Like if you were to pick a team for Tibbs, put Tibbs on the Cavs.
No, I think Tibbs is past his time. I think he's all done.
Really?
To be honest with you, I just don't think he's. I mean, he doesn't play those young guys. Like Cam Reddish just rots away on the bench for them. Like
throw Tibbs on like a team with veterans looking to make the playoffs.
Tibbs is a good assistant coach that's going to watch film.
Sure, I'll give you that. I think that covers about everything we wanted to talk about today.
Oh no, bust out the cards. I want to do that.
Oh yes, excuse me. To wrap up our show,
that's why I said we can go. I texted in our little private chat. So we can go forever. I really don't care. I'm tired.
I'm chilling. Yeah, I want to get some work done tonight, but I'm good. For Christmas, my Uncle Dan, who I shouted out earlier in the show, got me a box of Who's the Man Boston Basketball Edition. It's effectively Celtics edition. 100
this
cards.
is going to be a good guest thing. We can do
it gives you a player. I want to do one of these every show. Once a podcast, once a live show.
Let's do a couple.
Stream.
We can I'm ready.
Okay. We can do a couple, but there's 100 of them, so I don't want to like run through them because I know that's a lot, but like
it's fine.
We do a pregame stream every game. We do a live stream, so we'll see. I'll pick out the front. This will be for you because I can see the answer, but I'll play along too. Let's see. For excuse me, for 5 points. So there's 5 clues, and if you get it on the first one, you get 5 points. We don't have to do like scoring, but
no, it's fine. Let's do it. Let's keep an all-time score or something like that.
Okay, I'll start a thing on the dock. Let's see. Okay. For 5 points, Boston, Who's the Man? Selected second overall by the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2010 NBA draft. I already know it. I already know.
Evan Turner.
I am. Yes, Evan Turner.
That's the
so we both
big fan of Evan Turner.
Evan Turner is a good guy. Okay, so we both would have gotten 5 points. Excuse me, 5. We can do another one. We can do 3 since this is the first time we're doing this.
Fine.
But for the most part, we can do, or maybe we could do like a couple on a podcast, one on a stream, et cetera, et cetera. But excuse me, I don't want to cheat. So
what we should do is we should do a contest one day on a stream and like get people to put in the chat, and then we pick somebody and they get a prize.
That'd be cool. We can do something like that. This is fun. We can find other trivia stuff too. I have another trivia game, I think, but it's mostly sports.
We'll have to do Jeopardy again. We kind of have like the stuff for it now. We have this. We could do.
We should. Jeopardy's fire. We should do Jeopardy soon. We should do a Jeopardy soon. We can organize that.
Chat. Who do you want in the Jeopardy?
Let us know. Let us know in the comments. All right, for 5 points, earned 9 All-Star nods and 250 technical fouls, during his 17-year Hall of Fame career. If you know it, don't tell me it because I don't know it. I don't. I have a guess, but I don't know if it's right. Excuse me.
The technical fouls gives me an idea.
That's what's getting me.
Yeah, I think I know who it is.
Should we just play you play? Because that way.
No, go ahead. Because you want to.
I don't know.
I'm not positive.
Excuse me. Okay. I'll keep going because I don't think
I see the answer. Or is it on the back?
No, I've blocked it off, so I can't see.
Okay.
Won his only NBA championship while playing for the Miami Heat in 2006. Now I know it.
Okay, that is not who I thought it was, but now I know who it is.
Okay, so
it's Antoine Walker.
Oh, I was wrong then. I was gonna say Gary Payton. I think I'm wrong. I thought
it could be Gary Payton.
Or did Gary Payton win his championship in 2008 with the Celtics?
No, Gary Payton was on that team. That was Cassell.
Okay.
Gary Payton was on the Heat team. You're right.
Should I look? Should I look or should I keep going? Or I guess we both gave our guesses at this point.
Yeah.
Right? So
all right, go ahead.
It is Gary Payton.
You were right.
Look at that. So I get 4 and you get 0. Then I get
0. My first guess was Rasheed Wallace because of text.
Yes. Yeah, mine was a Wallace as well. I was going to guess. Did Rasheed play for the Celtics?
Yeah, he was on that 2010 team.
Excuse me. Oh, yes. I remember Gerald did, but I forgot that Rasheed. All right. Do you want to do one more? Wrap it up. We'll do 3 for the show.
Do one more. Excuse me. That's bad. I hate being wrong. I'm usually good at this stuff.
I know.
That's good. I get stumped.
Once we get to like the 60s and stuff, I'm going to be terrible because I'm terrible at like the older ones, but the newer ones I'm pretty fresh with. So, all right. See, this one I'm going to get wrong. 5 points. Born in Martins Ferry, Ohio on April 8th, 1940. So we're gonna struggle with this one, I think, Sam.
Next.
Not great. Next. Okay. I don't have a guess either. Drafted out of Ohio State in 1962 as a small forward by the Celtics and as a wide receiver by the Cleveland Browns. Do you know?
I know it.
I have no idea. I got to keep going because
I know it at this one, and I'm going to be right.
Okay,
I'm telling you right now.
4 points for you if you get it. Hall of Fame player who made 8 NBA Finals appearances and won 8 NBA championships. All right.
That doesn't help you.
Excuse me. No, 3 points. Retired in 78 with the most points, games played, minutes played, and points scored in Celtics history. I should definitely know it.
That you should know.
I'm said this a bunch of times. I'm terrible with old players.
I'm actually kind of pissed. I should have known this after the first one.
See, I want to say Havlicek, but
it is Havlicek.
Okay. I'll take my 2 points. Okay, 1 point was stole the ball in what NBA calls the most famous radio call. Okay, so I'll take my 2 points, Havlicek, for 11, and you get 4. You're at 8. So that's our standings through 3 cards. I'll leave it in the back of the box here so we know which ones we've done.
I'm pissed.
I'll take the lead for now. I'm hyped with the Gary Payton. Excuse me. This is fun though. This gave me a nice little activity.
I like that.
We can run through. Yep. I'll tide us over for a while, but I think that's about it. I think that's about everything we were going to
cover. Hour and a half for you.
Nice long show. We haven't. I was about to say we haven't talked in a while, but didn't we do a live show? There was a podcast like 4 days ago, like pretty normal time. But anything you want to say before you jump on out of here?
No.
I'm treating this like a live stream. You wrap us up. What am I saying? Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. I was on live stream mode. Sam, wrap us up. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, you're on YouTube at How About Them Celtics. We're doing everything there now. Streams.
210 subs. We're going up.
That was a big jump.
Through the moon.
Because we dropped and then we went back up. A little yo-yo.
Yes. Huge. Love to see it.
But make sure you subscribe, add to that 210. Leave likes, comments on our videos. Help the algorithm.
Appreciate you. We appreciate
Watch them for a while. Maybe fall asleep.
Just leave a like. That's all you got to do. Just leave a little like. Help us
They don't account time watched.
Oh, well, they do, obviously. Watch through. Excuse me.
Put it on while you sleep.
Scroll through.
You really
exactly. Leave us some likes. We appreciate y'all.
But if you're listening, you can get us on whatever streaming service you use, whether it's Apple, Spotify. Follow us there. Leave a nice review and listen. Other than that, you can get us at How About Them C's on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You'll get all the shorts there as well as YouTube, Facebook. You'll get them there too. Just the name of the pod will get you to us, and you'll get our streams on Facebook, all of them, pregame, and also the live ones.
Yes, sir.
You can follow Jack at Jack Simone NBA. He's doing all kinds of work, hard work.
Next live stream, I'll say, just not to cut you off. Next live stream scheduled tentatively. I believe for the 28th, so Wednesday. So tomorrow, as you're listening to this,
check tomorrow live stream. Maybe 7:30, so I can play basketball.
Okay, perfect. Yes, awesome.
Okay, great. Glad. Very good. And you can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA for me to say Thanasis sucks because that's my most popular
rat list.
Thanasis the rats. That's it for us, bye. I almost forgot.
Tic-tac-toe.